All right, in our Hawaiian volcano summary this week, Kīlauea is still recharging, and this past week is showing more earthquakes in the South Caldera area, a little bit down where it joins the Kauai fault zone right through here, but not as many earthquakes further down the rift, the Southwest Rift, than that as were occurring previously. There are still a few of these slightly deeper earthquakes under the caldera. These earthquakes are colored by depth here. And this is the last week, and ongoing still South Pahala deep earthquakes, South Flank earthquakes, as has been usual in the past few weeks here. So still recharging, a little bit more earthquakes in the last few days, in particular yesterday, but we'll come to that here in a second. First, let's recap the Sandhill tilt meter, which you can see here for the last 3 weeks has been on a accelerated inflationary trend. It was inflating before that, just at a much slower rate. If we look just the last week or so, we've come up perhaps 15 microradians or so, which is a pretty good amount. And over the last 3 weeks, or even the last month, we've come up almost 35 microradians or so. So a good amount of ground tilting happening in that South Caldera area to accompany the earthquakes. And earthquake counts have been cycling higher and lower. So yesterday we exceeded 100 earthquakes per day across the entire Kīlauea volcano, which is about the same as we saw in our previous cycle peak back on March 31st, where it reached those levels as well. But it's not nearly as high as what we saw back in late January, early February, as the intrusion moved down the Southwest Rift. So until these earthquakes are sustained at higher levels, then we are not taking the next step towards erupting at Kīlauea or perhaps intruding into a different part of the volcano underground. This rightmost bar is the current daily count, so it is coming up higher than the previous times, and so we'll see if these earthquake rates sustain for more than 1 or 2 days here, or if they drop off again and continue to recharge in cycles. On Maunaloa, this is the last month of earthquakes around the summit area. These are also colored by depth. So very few earthquakes overall. They're all quite small as well. And deep ones under the area, they've been occurring over the past several months. And the shallow ones all across, essentially marking the background activity in this area. And that's the Hawaiian volcano summary for this week.